Welcome back to another 25 things you may have missed video. The video on House of Leaves is in the works, but it's going to take a few weeks probably, so here's a little video to tide you over. The last one of these was on the Fear and Hunger 1, but like I said it many times in the past, I do like Fear and Hunger 2 Termina better. So I have made another 25 things you may have missed in Termina. This time we have things from bugs and glitches, to hidden areas, to cut content, and real-life references. You know the drill, if you've seen either of the other two videos before, but if you learned something in this video, you have to like the video. And if you know every single one of these, you can comment, "I'm smarter than you, Pugzer, I hate you." But that's all I have for an intro this time, so let's get straight into it. Something I noticed recently while doing my full playthrough of Termina on my channel, and you'd know if you watched it, is that if you're playing as Olivia and go down some stairs with your wheelchair and hit an enemy, it'll stun them. The only other way to do this in the overworld is with a shotgun, or a booby trap. So Olivia's wheelchair is literally as strong as a shotgun. Who knew? This is probably a bug, but the red virtue weapon, which is given by defeating the Heartless One, or whatever her name is going to be changed to in the next update, can be used by Olivia when she is knocked off her wheelchair. This is the only weapon in the game that can do this. This is more of a technical thing I found funny, but the status effect for skipping turns, like if you use certain dialogue trees or using Nettle as Olivia, the status effect in the code is called "can't do shit." This one is sort of well known, but not only does the Golden Gate skill allow very easy travel, there are two hidden rooms in this area. One is Pocket Cat's room with a bunch of weird stuffed animals, and one is a strange room that is only accessible by Osa as far as I'm aware. And only if you do the full text adventure in his backstory. And only if you check the desk in the office 11 times without breaking it open. So it's very rare to see this, and if you didn't know it existed, you never find it. In this room, you can get a Joy Mask, which seemingly does nothing other than gives you a status effect in battle called Happy, which also seemingly does nothing. This room is also kind of weird and creepy. There's a bunch of eyes. It reminds me of Ebe, if you've played that game. It's just very strange. And as far as I'm aware, there's no lore to this at all. To continue with the last one, a really cool fact on its own, if you go back to Pocket Cat's room after Dan Moonscorches and becomes Pocket Cat on day 3, the room will change. The room will become Dan's Pocket Cat room, where all the stuffed animals are gone, and it turns into a crime scene room instead. People have theorized this is the crime scene for Dan's ex-wife, Elise. You can steal catnip from Pocket Cat. How cute. This one's not really a fact, but maybe some people don't know this, because if you go to the wiki of Fear and Hunger and look up how to fight the Heartless One, it's wrong. As you may know, to fight the Heartless One you need the Rusty Key. The wiki states that the only way to do this is to go to the Foundations of Decay, take the elevator up, and go into the church without dropping the chandelier. This is not the only way to get here. If you have the rare skill Golden Gates, and you use a Golden Gate before you go to the church at all, in a location like the White Mold Apartments or the Orphanage, you can go straight to the Golden Gates in the Church of Alll-Merr, bypassing dropping the chandelier. You can then just continue as normal and pick up the Rusty Key and go fight the Heartless One. There's some speculation that the reason the Heartless One, or whatever her name will become, is somehow both a new god as well as enlightened like Enki and Nostramus, or at the very least has some relation to the Book of Enlightenment. Several of her attacks show these weird kanji that are identical to the ones on the pages of the Book of Enlightenment. So maybe she wrote the Book of Enlightenment, or maybe it's just reused assets. But I feel like it has some lore significance we don't know. This is something, once again, people may know, but I had never seen at all before I looked up research for this video. There's a hidden spot in the deep woods where there is a pitfall where some non-hostile owl cultists are looking over, as well as these weird hairy guys. I have no idea who or what these hairy guys are, but they're here, and this room seemingly does nothing other than allows you to jump in the pit and die. When you're in the very beginning of the game, there is a 10% chance that some ghosts will pass by the window of the train. But if your game doesn't have this, it will never have it. You can't just wait, you have to start a new character. The name of the song that plays when you fight Rance of the Circle is named Mataneko Kone Magnificat, which is also Circle's real name. People have theorized that the Mata in this name is Finnish for the word rotten. Kone is the word in Finnish for machine, and Magnificat is magnified in Latin, but can also refer to as something godly or great. So some people believe that this name itself means the rotten machine god. This could mean two things. One is the obvious one, and it could be referencing the machine god Logic. Sergal is here to seemingly fight stuff and revel in the bloodshed of Rare's festival. He might not like the fact that the festival can prematurely end if Logic is activated, making him hate Logic, the quote-unquote rotten machine god. Or, as the wiki likes to infer, this could also be a way to be saying a Deus Ex Machina, which is a trope that means that something that comes out of nowhere with no prior hint that completely changes the story. Kind of like how Sergal just appears for no reason. There's no reason for Sergal to be in the story at all, pretty much, but him being there definitely affects the game. I think it makes more sense for him to hate Logic though, so that's my headcanon for his name in the song. Dark Priests have a Gro-Goroth symbol carved into the right hand, and a Venushka one in their left. However, Father Donovan will have two Venushka symbols. It's possible that Father Donovan is more attuned with Venushka magic because of his affinity with the god through these carvings on his hands. Hence why he can use the high-level Venushka magic like Scorched Earth and normal Dark Priests can't. I mentioned this in all my playable characters explained video, but in Kahara's S-ending art, he can be seen with the Sabbath sword, which is the sword in the rafters of the Church of Alll-Merr. So there's a good chance this sword came from the dungeons of Fear and Hunger, as that ending implies it is a hidden treasure from the dungeon. There is a unique currency that can only be found in two places that seemingly does nothing. If you either loot August's body, or use the steal skill on Rance of the Circle, you can get a silver shilling, which its description implies that only the high-class residents of Prehevel have this. What that implies about August and Rancid, I don't know, but it's likely August got it from killing someone, as he isn't from Prehevel, or hasn't been known to live here ever. Although he is nomadic, so it is possible he has spent some time here. There is a unique food item that I had never seen in Old Town. If you go into the two-story house and interact with the oven, you will get black matter. I assume almost no one has seen this because why would you check the oven if you usually don't get even a prompt to do that? There is a unique death animation with Poe, a rare enemy that can only be found in one place in Fear and Hunger mode. On top of that, you have to die to a coin flip attack from him, making the secret animation even rarer. He fists you in it. It's bad. If you use the party chat in the bookstore with Osa in your party, he will make several references to real-life books. He will talk about the animal behavior of the human male, which is a reference to Charles Darwin's book, Expression of Emotions in Man and Animal. He will also mention The Little King, which is a reference to Antoine de Saint-Exupéry's, I don't know how to say his name, The Little Prince. He will mention the Count Dragul of Lyra, which is obviously Bram Stoker's Dracula. He will say 1985, an obvious reference to George Orwell's 1984. He will mention A Tree Grows in Rondon, which is Betty Smith's A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. And finally, Trees of Blue Grass, which is Walter Whitman's Trees of Grass. Not only are these all referenced, they all did come out before or at least in the 1940s, which is when the game takes place, so it would actually make sense that those books are in a 1940s library. With the exception of 1984. Which was made in 1949. My immersion is ruined. Many people have never even attempted masochist mode, so there's a few encounters a lot of players haven't even seen, such as there being a second platoon in Prehevel Ruined Streets, as well as, like we mentioned earlier, Poe, the enemy, will spawn whenever there is a radio nearby. And finally, and probably the most well-known of the masochist enemies, the Golbros. However, with the new update coming out, I theorize the Golbros will appear in the normal difficulty as well, in the circus. The clock puzzle is a real clock in Prague, where Prehevel is based on. It was made in 1410 in real life, so not only would it have actually been there when the game takes place, but it would have been there during the events of Fear and Hunger 1, if the timeline is similar to ours at least. The irrational obelisk in the clothes store is based on an art installation that Miro Havernine, the game's creator, saw, which was especially frightening to him due to his phobia of button-up shirts. There's currently no reason to get Caligura's soul on several characters, as several characters can start with the steal skill, and if you have it, you can just get every single Caligura skill without even getting his soul. This might be a bug, but I'm not sure. You can trivialize healing before a battle due to a bug with Pav's Bury the Trauma skill. It implies you're supposed to gain one mind every 20 seconds in the overworld, but it gives you one body every 20 seconds in the overworld. So if you wait a little bit before every battle, you can go into every single battle with max health. There are several unused skills in Termina, and they don't have descriptions. However, we do have the skill names, and with that we can probably figure out what they do. Ruggedly Handsome was supposed to be a skill in Tanaka's skill tree, and it might have been some sort of charm skill, like charming enemies of the opposite sex in battle or something. Greater Blood Magic may have been used to give a boost to blood magic, as there's a skill in Fear and Hunger 1 with the same name that did that. Resurrection probably revived someone somehow. Greater Analyze would show you weak points. Reverse Healing is pretty cool. We do have a description for it, and it would remove vital organs to stop status effects or death. That, or it could remove enemies' vital organs to cause status effects or death. Or both. Premonitions is a skill that was replaced with Reveal Aura in the main game, but it was changed skill trees. Osa was originally supposed to have Premonitions, while Rare skill tree has Aura Reveal. It is possible that this would show other things unlike Reveal Aura. It says it would reveal important things that were happening, so maybe it wouldn't just show where people are, but maybe important events, like Pav trying to kill the Kaiser or something. Order Defend is a Pav skill that would probably be the exact opposite of the skill that is already in the game, called Order Attack. Order Attack makes everyone attack without using their turn. I'm assuming Order Defend would make everyone defend no matter what they do on their turn, even if they attack. Marks of Gro-Goroth would increase the effectiveness of sacrificing people on Gro-Goroth circles, or maybe increases Gro-Goroth magic skills. Healing Link would probably heal others if you healed yourself. Bribe might let you avoid certain battles if you give them money, such as like how if you give the Dark Priest Rusty Pearls in the main game, you can get off for free. I'd assume this would work on Bobbies most likely. Counter Magic would do the same thing it would do in the original Fear and Hunger, which was resist lower level spells as well as destroy some magic artifacts in the main game. This was probably taken out because there's only like one place that you need to use a counter magic charm, which is in the Orphanage. Harm, I really don't know. Maybe just a weak hurting spell? Dash would be like in the original game, and it would allow you to move faster. However, sprinting was added in a later update, so this would eventually become useless. Needle Worms was a skill in Fear and Hunger 1, and it was really bad. So Miro probably realized that no one used it and took it out. Sense Contestants is probably the same thing as Aura Reveal, but changed skill trees once again. Father's Wrath sounds pretty cool, and may have been an Alll-Merr damaging spell, but that's just my theory. 3 skills, which are Sword of Penance, Spear of Penance, and Blood Spear, are all probably replaced with Summon Blood Sword and Summon Longinus, respectively. Third Eye would have been a cool skill that would have given you all 3 rev points at the beginning of every battle, but I feel like that would be very overpowered. But that's about it for all the unused skills in the game. This one isn't so much as a fact as just a warning, because I feel I should mention it. I found a way to permanently crash your game, and if you didn't save, it'll completely ruin your save. If you are at a Hexen table, and you try to buy a skill and then change your mind, do not hit escape while trying to exit this text box, as it will crash your game every single time. So if you did this without saving after a while, well, enjoy your hours of lost time. And as an added treat, here's my reaction to this information after learning about it. No way. Did that just fucking happen to me? Finally, Charon's Moon-Scorched form is actually not originally from Fear and Hunger 2. If you are a fan of Elden Ring and Dark Souls, well, you have something in common with Miro Haverdine. Also, if you are a fan of these games, you'd know the lore is pretty obscure. If you were to look up a lore breakdown on these games on YouTube, chances are you stumble on a channel known as VatiVidya, a very famous Souls YouTuber. He once held a contestant for artists to create fake Elden Ring bosses with their art. And let's go down the list of runner-ups, and look! Our boy Miro Haverdine was a runner-up with his fake Elden Ring boss, Foul Eater, otherwise known as Charon's Moon-Scorched form. Anyway, I really do appreciate all of you for watching this video. This video was sort of last minute, as there was no way the breakdown of House of Leaves was going to be ready for this week, so I just wanted to have some content to tide you all over, and I kind of wanted to make another one of these anyway. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see you next time.